Every time you cut your commission without pushing back, you're handing money directly out of your own pocket. But here's the part that really stings, is it's not just about the money, it's what it says about you. And when you drop your rate, the second a seller pushes back, it signals that you were never truly confident in your own value proposition. And sellers feel that. And so today we're talking about how to hold your commission with total confidence without being pushy, without being weird, and without losing the listing. So real quick, if you want to work through your commission script and your full listing presentation with me, book a free one-on-one call. The link's in the description below on the calendar link, or DM me the word commission at PK Residential on Instagram and Facebook, and let's work through this. So here's why agents cave on commission. It's their fear that if they hold their rate, the seller's gonna go with someone else, so they cut it. And here's the brutal truth, that cutting your commission fast does not make sellers choose you. It actually makes them trust you less, because why did you give them a rate to begin with and then pull back and say you can do less? Because the first thing a seller thinks when you drop that rate immediately is, well, why did they give in so fast? What else will they give up when they're negotiating my deal? And so your commission conversation is the first negotiation with your seller, and how you handle your own rate tells them everything they know about how you will handle theirs. So look, I've heard this more times than I can count. Oh, I've had other agents tell me they would list it for 1%, or I've had agents say they'd list it for 2.5%. And every time I hold at my 3%, not out of being stubborn, not out of being unreasonable, but out of conviction. I know that my value and what I will bring to the table and how I'll protect your bottom dollar and make sure your property is presented to the best of its ability is gonna outperform that other agent who's offering less. Because I know my value, and that extra 0.5% or 1% that you're saving, I'm gonna earn you more than that. I'm gonna earn you an extra 3 to 5 to 8% because of my skill set and because of how I'm gonna present your property and position it to the market to get the best price and the best terms for you to make this a seamless transaction. So here's what happens when you hold your value and you can articulate that clearly. Sellers will sign with you anyway. They don't care about somebody doing it for less. They want the job done with confidence, and they want to feel confident handing their key to you and having you cook and have you go out and get the best deal and the best price for them. Multiple times I've had sellers tell me that another agent would do it for less, and they still listed with me at my full rate because I was able to explain the value that I provide, and I showed them the difference. Just because a seller says another agent will do it cheaper does not mean you have to match that rate. If anything, that is your moment, your opportunity to stand firmer and to stand out. Because a seller who understands what you bring to the table is not going to choose the cheapest option. They're going to choose the best option, the best value. And your job is to make sure that they know the difference. So you got to know your value before you step into that conversation. You can't confidently defend something that you don't believe in. So before you ever go on a listing appointment, you need to be crystal clear on what you provide. So write this down. Your value proposition should include specifics. What's your average days on market compared to the average area in the area? What's your list to sale ratio? What marketing do you provide or do you offer that other agents in your market don't offer? What does your negotiation process look like? And what does it earn your sellers? Give them examples. Share a story about another seller that's in a similar boat. Say, hey, most of my sellers I work with blank. If you can't answer those questions immediately, that's your homework before your next appointment, is to know your numbers, know your results, and know your value. And step 2, this is one that I see people make the mistake of all the time. I have a huge team of agents, and this is one tweak that will completely change your listing appointment and your conversation about your rate, is never, ever, ever lead with your rate. This is a mistake I see all the time. Agents walk in and immediately put their commission on the table. Don't do that. Never do that. Lead with your value. Even if they ask you outright, what's your commission? What's your initial knee-jerk reaction? Your knee-jerk reaction is to say, oh, well, my commission's 3%. That's not how you answer that question. Instead, you say, hey, well, I'm a full service brokerage. These are all the services that I offer. I provide da-da-da-da-da-da-da, and I take care of all these things. And you rattle off your value proposition, and then you deliver the commission rate. So spend the first 15 to 20 minutes of your listing appointment showing the seller everything that you bring to the table. Your marketing plan, your track record, your process, your results that you've gotten for past sellers, your passion, your excitement, your interest in the property, your interest in them, building rapport with them. Do all those things in the beginning, and by the time your rate comes up, if it even comes up, the seller should already be nodding along and thinking, I get why they charge what they charge. When you lead with the value, your rate makes sense. When you lead with your rate, it becomes a negotiation from the start. It's a cheap service because you have no value to add. It seems like because you didn't mention all the things that you're doing and you're starting out with your commission, that there's really no value there and it's just based on price. So always anchor with your unique value proposition. So when the commission question comes up, which sometimes it won't even come up, they're just gonna sign whatever paperwork you send that has the commission rate on it because you showed so much value and they know they wanna work with you. Whatever you send over, they're gonna sign. But if the question does come up, which oftentimes it does in the listing appointment, they ask you about your rate. You say, well, my commission reflects the level of service I provide, my marketing negotiation I bring to every transaction. My sellers consistently net more money because of how I position, market, and negotiate their home. I've seen what happens when sellers hire based on the lowest rate, and I end up being called later to take over the listing. And I do not want that outcome for you, and I don't think you do either. So with everything that I provide, like I showed you, you'll get my full service listing presentation. You get all the marketing that's completely paid for. You won't pay anything out of pocket. I have skin in the game. I target all those relocation buyers that we talked about. We'll do a hyper local marketing plan along with all of our print and digital marketing. And with all of this and with my advising and consulting throughout the process, I treat your listing as an individual business. And when I represent your listing, it is 3% to my brokerage. And then as far as the buyer's agent compensation, we negotiate that as it comes up to make sure you're comfortable with the final net or whatever you're gonna get from the sale. And if you say it calmly and you don't rush it and you just let it land with them and stay silent after that, don't keep talking and rattling off and rambling. Keep the silence, be comfortable with silence because you're gonna have to get comfortable with that because you're delivering big statements. And this is also their largest asset. It's the largest purchase or sale they're ever going to make in their life. So be comfortable with the silence. They need to process what you're saying and realize all the value that you're adding at that 3% rate. And there's things that'll come up where, like I said, the seller will say, oh, well, other agents will do it for less. Yeah, some will. And here's your response. You say, you know, you're right. There's people that will do it for less and you can hire one of those agents. What I would ask you to consider is this. If they're willing to negotiate against themselves before you're even a client, what happens when it's time to negotiate for you on the deal? Or when you're not getting an offer? Or when you do get an offer, but it's a lowball offer? The agent who holds their value is the agent who will hold yours. And that's where I come into play. I know I'm earning my sellers 5% on average more than whatever you would save on the commission that you're looking at a discount agent. So let that land. Stop talking. So learning this language, getting comfortable with this language, and being able to articulate your particular value proposition, because I know my listing strategy. I know how I market them. I know how I get them sold. I know how to leverage the listing and leverage the offers that we get to get more offers and cultivate interest. I know the psychology behind selling a home. I know what buyers look for because I work with buyers as well. I know what they're looking for in a home. So it's up to you to hone in your strategy. And if you are a discount agent, then you have a different package to offer. But every time that you cave on your commission, you lose money and you lose the seller's confidence. So know your numbers, lead with your value, and anchor on the outcomes that you deliver for them. Anchor on the fact that you're going to get them top dollar in the shortest amount of time with the best terms and make it as seamless as possible for them during this challenging time of making a big move. We know this is a lot on your plate. I know this is a lot of moving parts, but my goal is to have you hand me the key and I just call you when I need you to sign. That is the outcome that most sellers are looking for. And your commission is not a negotiation. It's a reflection of your worth, and it's up to you to hold that standard. If you want to work through your commission script and your full listing presentation and learn how to secure listings at the full 3%, or if you even want to go higher at 3.5% or 4% and have different tiers, Book a free call with me on my link below or DM me on Instagram at PK Residential. You've got this. Let's build the confidence to prove it.